Alright guys, so I've been getting quite a few DMs on Instagram asking me if I was going to talk about the Alex Meyers situation. In case you guys don't know who this is a pretty big YouTuber, over 4 million subs. He talks about movies. I've definitely seen his videos pop up on my feed before, and I've definitely seen one or two of his videos before. Am I the biggest Alex Meyers fan? No. Is my closet full of his merch? No. I do have a lot of things on my mind regarding the drama that he got himself into when he reviewed the movie Obsession. Now, this is a movie that I went out to see a day or two after it came out, if I'm not mistaken. I thought it was a pretty solid movie. I thought it was a good indie movie. So the YouTuber Alex Meyers made this video talking about the movie, and after all the drama came out, I went back and I actually found the original video. You can't find it anymore because it got taken down. Not only that, but he also made an apology video, and he also took that down. He made like 2 or 3 different comments saying, "No guys, I am not a racist, all right? I promise I don't rape women, please stop." And if I gotta keep it real with Alex and all of you guys, his video on Obsession is mid. I think there's some points that he completely misses or he doesn't really understand. I do think he misses the mark quite a few times. Enough yapping, I have a lot to say. There's a lot to talk about.
Story of my life. He pulls out this $7 wishing toy. He's like, golly gee, I sure wish Nikki loved me too. But here's where everything changes, okay?
Maybe you want to come inside? I mean, I did just lose my cat, Bear.
You lost your cat?
Oh, wait. I mean, you lost your cat. I'm so sorry.
So as you can see, Nikki's starting to act a little out of character. She's saying things that don't make sense. She also demands to go over to his house to spend the night.
Why?
My dad's dying.
And you know, to Bear's credit, he's not immediately jumping at the chance to take advantage of her or whatever. Like, he gives her privacy and space. He doesn't want to make it weird. He turns around when she takes her shirt off. And like, based on what people were saying about this movie online, I expected Bear to be this like horribly angry, misogynistic incel dude, right? But like, up until this point, he's just some super socially awkward loser who has a crush on a girl, and he uses a $7 wishing toy that he assumes is not going to work. And then when Nikki starts acting like this, he's very confused and put off by it.
I mean, the thing with this scene, side note, but he kind of looks like Charlie Kirk here. I think he got Kirkified. The thing with this is that he didn't do it out of respect. Unless I'm misremembering and I'm tripping, he doesn't do this out of respect. He's not, you know, a red and nice guy, my lady, and a fedora tip. I'm gonna turn around so I don't see her breast because I clearly don't like her. I mean, this guy has been obsessed with Nikki throughout the whole movie. The context is that he does this because he's scared. His cat just died. He has a shitty job. He lives in his grandma's house. He doesn't have any money. He's broke. He's in love with this girl that really doesn't like him. When Nikki is Nikki and she's not possessed and she's not this demon, she does not like Bear in any way, shape, or form. She's just friendly towards him. So yeah, don't get it twisted. He doesn't do this out of respect. He does this because he's a coward. It's not like I'm going to stand up and clap for Bear like, yo, shout out to Bear. Thank you for not raping this girl. That's not her. She did not consent to this in any way, shape, or form. This is not the real Nikki. The real Nikki would never do this in front of him. That's kind of a weird observation from Alex. I thought it was pretty clear, unless I'm the one that missed the point of this scene. But to me, this doesn't seem like, oh, what a nice guy. Shout out to Bear for not raping this girl. Now let me make this very clear because this is a narrative going around. There's people online that legitimately think Alex Meyers is a, and do I think he is? Based on his Obsession video, I don't think he's a, so calling him a over a review and over bad takes, I don't think that's accurate when there's no proof of that. He just said something stupid. He didn't choose the right words. This is what I mean. Choosing to defend Bear is a weird hill to die on, honestly. I think he just misspoke, and I'm not here to defend Alex. He's a grown-ass man, and at his level and at his size, when he's getting millions of views and he has millions of subscribers, you would assume someone like him would be a lot more careful when choosing words. Bear is a coward, and he does get worse as time goes on. I don't think this is even a debate. I think everyone could agree that once Bear knows that Nikki is not really Nikki and she's pretty much unconscious and she's trapped inside of this demonic Nikki, if you will, yet he's okay with it and he continues to sleep with her. Like, the second he makes the wish to take away Nikki's ability to choose who she likes, that's when you become the villain. And if you have sex with someone that doesn't consent, or you take someone's ability to consent, yeah, you are a Like, there's no other way to put it. Bear continued to have sex with Nikki when Nikki was pretty much unconscious. Meanwhile, Bear straight up knew he's the villain. I don't think that's up for debate.
And to Bear's credit, he's not immediately jumping at the chance to take advantage of her or whatever. Like, he gives her privacy and space. He doesn't want to make it weird. He turns around when she takes her shirt off. And like, based on what people were saying about this movie online, I expected Bear to be this like horribly angry, misogynistic incel dude, right? But like, up until this point, he's just some super socially awkward loser who has a crush on a girl, and he uses a $7 wishing toy that he assumes is not going to work. And then when Nikki starts acting like this, he's very confused and put off by it.
What were you doing?
I was just going to the bathroom. I don't know, Nikki.
Obviously, things get different later on, but at least up to this point, Bear has like no idea that the wishing willow worked. And again, to his credit, the very next day, he immediately tells Ian that he thinks something's wrong with Nikki. Like he seems genuinely concerned. So that night, Ian apparently talked to Nikki, and she said that she was on some drugs or whatever. And so maybe that explains why she was acting so erratic, like when she and Bear kissed earlier.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
You kissed me!
I know, I thought I saw something.
So at this point, Bear thinks that Nikki was acting weird, kissed him, freaked out, etc. because she was on drugs, right? So again, to him, in this moment, it all seems totally above board. But then, out of nowhere, Nikki goes over to Bear's house to apologize.
I was on MDMA, so if I was weird, that's why, and not saying that you took advantage of me.
Nikki, I didn't know you were on drugs.
That's what I'm saying, I'm not saying that.
Not saying what?
You took advantage of me.
I don't think I didn't.
I know, that's why I'm saying you didn't.
Now, at this point of the movie, like, you could decide it's up to each and every single one of you, but at this point, I do think this is just him trying to cope, even though the behavior has been extremely weird, and I'm sure that's up for debate. Did he know? Did he not know? In my opinion, like, come on. The girl that never liked you immediately likes you after you make a wish, but I guess that's debatable. Was he bad here, or was he bad later on when they were having sex 20 times per day?
Okay, see, this is my point. Like, given the circumstances, Bear's being pretty normal about this, okay? Given what he does and does not know by this point in the movie, like, he could have slept with her, or he could have taken some kind of advantage of her, but he was rather gentlemanly at the time. I mean, for a guy who has this many Cosby sweaters. Wait, do you think this was on purpose? Like, do you think they dressed him like this intentionally? And thus begins their relationship. They start dating, hanging out, kissing, doing the devil's tango. And Bear's finally living the life he always wanted. Hot dog. Turns out Nikki was in love with him the whole time.
What do you want to do? I mean, I've never really asked.
Well, that's not all your fault.
Like, at this point, Bear knows exactly what he's doing. This is just him taking advantage. At this point, it is clear. It is definitive. Once again, I do say this. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think he was a villain a little prior to this. From weird, lonely Redditor to, I know what I'm doing and I know that it's wrong and I don't care. Low-key rapist. Like, if Nikki was conscious, she would have never gone on a date with Bear or made out with him or have sex with him or gone into his bed. So, yeah.
To me, at least, it totally seems like a fanfic or whatever that he thinks would have no way of actually coming true. I'm not saying Bear is a blameless, innocent victim, okay? But I think some of you are a little too quick to attach motivation and subtext to this character that is not based on the movie. Like, it really seems like some of you want him to be a horrible, incel, intentionally malicious guy, regardless of what actually happens in the movie. Even the guy who played Bear himself said this about the character. I never thought of Bear as a villain, but what really drew me to this story was the gray morals of it all. Bear has good in him and has bad in him, like all of us. I do think that he leans more toward the bad in a lot of ways. Fully the antagonist, though? I don't think I would say fully, because the key thing is he didn't know that the wish was going to work. Sure, his desires were incredibly selfish, totally, 100%, but he didn't know the wish was going to work. And you have to assume that this guy was in close talks with the writer-director of the movie the whole time, so basically both of them are saying that Bear is meant to be ambiguous, and you all are just over here like, nyah.
Okay, that's fine. We could argue that. He did not know that the toy, the $7 toy or whatever the fuck it is, he did not know that it was going to work. But then when he notices it does work, he starts doing all the stuff that he, long story short, his fantasy, he starts to fulfill his fantasy of sleeping with his crush, even going as far as eating his own cat that died just to satisfy Nikki, even though she's fucking insane because of him, but, I digress. He's a great character up until he knows that the toy worked, and he continues to act upon it. Sure, later on he goes and tries to stop it, but that is only after Nikki goes fucking insane, because the real Nikki is trapped inside of this fake Nikki. So it's only because of that. Conspiracy theory time. I believe that if Nikki would have acted just like the old Nikki, the Nikki that he likes, and I do think he would have stayed with her. I do think it would have continued. I don't think he would have gone out to buy the second toy to undo the wish, or I don't think he would have killed himself. He only did it because Nikki was going around killing their friends and acting crazy and pissing herself, digging up his cat and cooking the cat, and had Nikki stayed the same, even though she wasn't a consenting human at that point, if you will, I think Bear would have kept this going for as long as he could.
Like, are you all equally upset about the Disney Channel original movie Zapped or 16 Wishes? Because fundamentally, these are all the same movie. Like, remember Descendants 1, Mal cast a spell that made Ben fall in love with her? Where's all the Reddit threads about that?
I've never seen any of these movies, but if you take away someone's ability to consent, yeah, you're weird. Yeah, I mean, congrats, you're a rapist.
Do you want to talk to her? You want to talk to her?
Who is that?
Nikki?
Now, just to be clear, I'm not defending all of Bear's actions, okay? Because at this point in the movie, he knows the wish worked, and he knows the real Nikki's soul is, like, trapped or whatever, but he keeps on dating her and tries to, like, continue on as if this isn't the most horrible situation anyone could imagine. Although, to be fair, what is he supposed to do? Because if he breaks up with her, she's gonna hunt him down. And the only other choice, as we learn, is that the spell will break if he dies.
I mean, if you did all of that, then you probably deserve to die. Hot take, I think an ending where he shoots himself would be pretty fitting. So I do think the ending is pretty appropriate, and I'm a fan of the ending. I mean, there was legitimately no saving him.
What can I do then?
When you die, the wish will go away.
You're sure there's nothing else I can do?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you live. Sounds to me like you have a moral obligation to be there for her.
Another option appears when the real Nikki is able to speak very briefly while the demon Nikki is asleep.
You are you, Nikki.
Please don't wake her up. Just kill me.
Now, this is another part I've seen so many posts about that I find so baffling. Like, I've literally seen people say, like, if Bear truly loved Nikki, he would have killed her when she asked. Cause, like, it's just that easy, you know? And then what? He goes to prison for life? Obviously, he doesn't want to do that. Also, it's well established in this movie that he's like a low self-esteem, probably depressed loser guy. So, like, of course, he's not gonna suddenly do this completely out of character thing. Now, that being said, his reaction to this is very telling, though.
What would be so bad? What's so bad about being with me?
Okay, Bear, see, I was trying to be fair, okay? And then you go and you say that, like, maybe everyone's right about you, you know? And this is further solidified when he knows it's not the real Nikki, and he knows the real Nikki is trapped, but he still keeps going on like this.
I'll be anything you want me to
No,
be.
don't say that.
Anything you want me to be. I'll be. Let me be Nikki.
You're not being like me.
But this also brings up another interesting thematic element of the movie, I guess, which is like people are saying, you know, if he truly loved Nikki, then he would do this incredibly selfless thing for her. But remember, his wish was not that Nikki would become obsessed with him. He wished that she would love him. So why isn't her love for him as selfless as you're claiming that his love for her should be? You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying Nikki's the bad guy or Bear is some like blameless victim or whatever. I'm just saying there's many ways you could look at this movie. Like maybe the wish didn't work at all. Maybe Bear's just that cool. You ever thought of that?
I don't think anyone sees Nikki as the bad guy. And I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on Reddit, but I don't think any rational person would see Nikki and be like, yeah, she is to blame. It's her fault for being hot and friendly. It's like, what? Like, what do you mean by that? I don't think she did anything wrong besides being nice to Bear, this lonely loser.
So he eats all the rest of his grandma's Flintstone vitamins, I assume, and dies in the arms of Nikki, who is finally freed from the spell.
Can you imagine the amount of PTSD that Nikki must have?
And that's more or less the end of the movie. Yeah, so whatever your personal interpretation of the movie is, it really is a fantastic film. It's a great horror, great writing, the acting is incredible. Nikki, obviously, fantastic job. But like with a lot of other movies and shows, especially recently, the online discourse is just insane. Like, what is it about this movie in particular that people made it their entire personalities? Like, there's something very funny to me about how this movie about the dangers of unchecked obsession has gone on to spawn one of the most insanely obsessed fan bases I've ever seen. Congrats, y'all, nailed it. Now again, I need to be very clear here, okay? Ultimately, Bear is the bad guy. He doesn't know what he did until late in the movie, but when he figures it out, he just keeps on rationalizing to himself because, like, he wants Nikki, and he doesn't seem to really care that she's being tortured the whole time, but rather he wants the demon to just act like Nikki so that he can pretend that he's actually dating Nikki, you know? Like, this is a bad dude. Yes, absolutely. Nikki is completely innocent. Her life is forever ruined because of some depressed, selfish loser guy, okay? Yes, like that's the outcome of the movie. But how we get to that point, I think, is a lot more nuanced than a lot of you were giving the movie credit for.
So after watching the full video and seeing the discourse online, two things could be true at the same time. Alex had some very interesting takes, some takes that I don't agree with, and some bad phrasing, bad wording, whatever you guys want to call it. It was just not it. Now, I do think this whole situation is blown out of proportion in some ways. I've seen people call Alex a racist, and truth be told, he did himself no favors by responding to this like 3 different times and making a pretty mid apology video. It truly is embarrassing. The online discourse calling him a and saying, yeah, you should watch your drinks up around Alex is pretty overblown as well. Even at the end, he's like, yeah, I don't agree with Bear and he is evil, yada, yada, yada. But at the beginning, he had some very interesting takes. I think some stuff should have been worded a lot better, especially when the topic is this sensitive. You should really watch what you say, especially when you have 5 million subscribers and billions of views. It's like, dude, you really gotta be more careful, especially with sensitive topics such as essay. I think he made the big mistake of reacting or talking about something above his pay grade, because if you look at his channel, it's mainly Disney and Barbie and well, that's Disney, Mario, you know, Malcolm in the Middle. This was above his pay grade. I have taken down both videos relating to obsession. I am sorry to those who were hurt by them. I will be more mindful of my words and jokes in the future. You know, after 5 apology attempts, I think this is the best one.